Meant for an adult audience, LoveLine may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised.
LoveLine with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Hey, everybody, it's LoveLine. I'm Adam. That's Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Dr. Drew, board-certified physician, addiction medicine specialist. Andy Richter is here tonight.
I'm retarded.
We're all big fans.
That's a nice drop-in. People should know, though, that that applause was fake.
No, it was a huge studio here. It was not recorded. It was not done in real time, but at the time it was done, the people were sincere.
For me,
not for you per se, but for all performers. Wow. Yeah,
there was an autograph hound.
Really?
Outside the studio.
Wow.
Today.
It's Blueser.
Wow.
Oh.
I don't know though. Now he was going after you. He couldn't be going after Drew because of his new status.
Oh, yeah.
No, he had stills from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, Felt. I'm sure you signed a lot of autographs in your day, right?
Well, cumulatively, yeah, but I mean, not like on a daily basis. It's not like they're hanging out at Whole Foods.
I'm curious. Are you hanging out at Whole Foods, by the way?
I spend spend way too much time at Whole Foods.
Really?
Yeah. You don't get a body like this without eating organic.
Yeah, I was going to go Shakey's, but you're going Whole Foods.
Yeah. Whole Foods, you know it.
All right. Let me tell you one of the great loser, stoner, got nothing better to do kind of white trash afternoons that I used to have back when I was in my late 20s and even early 30s is the we don't got a gig, it's Wednesday, it's noon, we're hitting the bunch of lunch.
Yeah.
True, you don't know that feeling. You know, Andy, I don't know if you've ever been there either.
I don't know what the bunch of lunch
the
is.
The Shakey's bunch of lunch. But
it's like a buffet sort of thing?
It is just
I've been
that.
to similar things.
It is all the mojos
things, yeah.
and pizza and chicken you can eat. And there's something about being an adult and hitting it on a weekday when there's nothing else going on. It's a sort of form of playing hooky. Like, you know that feeling of when you skipped out on school, that weird little sort of adrenaline surge you get, like I'm being naughty.
Right.
You can have that all over again in your 30s if you go to Shakey's on Wednesday at about noon.
See, because my connection with any sort of like buffet was poverty. You know,
really?
like, yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't like I'm skipping out. I mean, it was sort of like I've been shut out of life.
Right.
You know,
well,
basically,
this is both. Yeah, where you eat like the Camel drinks. You just go. It's $4. You load up. The humiliating part is when one guy pays and you show up and you just sort of peck at his food like crows on a dumpster, and then the manager comes around and tells you to put that Mojo potato back.
Wow.
It's true. You never did that?
That I did not do.
You've done the Shakey's, though,
sure,
right?
But not eating my buddies.
All right.
See, I when I first came to L.A., I went to. I thought Sizzler. I thought, that's a good deal. All you can eat, and
sure.
I'll just load up and like do one big meal and just load up.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's absolutely impossible to load up on shoe leather and
popcorn.
I hope
shrimp.
they're not a sponsor.
No,
but
not that we're aware of.
Yeah, but
where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Illinois.
Whereabouts?
A town called Yorkville, Illinois, which is about 70 miles west of Chicago.
Yeah,
it's sort of when things stop being suburbs and start being bean fields. And
ooh,
I got a lot of questions for Andy because I'm curious about his career.
My whole thing.
I'm curious about your whole thing. I do have to say that I watched Ebert and Roper today. And Drew, you are 0 for 2, and Andy, you are 1 for 4 in the thumbs department.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Drew, you got 2 thumbs down. You got 2 thumbs down. Andy reviewed 2 movies Andy was in, and there's a thumb up in those 2 movies.
There was.
Yeah, so you're averaging.
Was it Ebert or Roper?
I was trying to concentrate. I think seeing other people, I think Ebert gave a thumbs up too.
Oh, well, that's good.
And generally gave the movie a strongish review. Drew, however, your film and Andy's second film, which he looks at as a paycheck.
Whereas Drew looks at it as his rocket to stardom.
That's right. It was scathing at best.
I bet
it was a powerful criticism.
That's weird because on set, we actually had pictures of Ebert and Roper up in the makeup trailer, and we had like bullseyes around them. Like that, they were like our target.
That's your target.
Yeah, what
target
we were
reviewers.
going for.
The target audience.
And
target audience. Yeah, just target the zeitgeist we were aiming
well, because
for.
they have their finger on the pulse of the 13-year-old audience.
Sure.
Yeah,
Which actually could get him in trouble.
How did New York Minute do, by the way? And Drew, don't pretend like you didn't check on the internet.
I just checked. It got 4th.
4th? Who got? Okay, so you got Van Helsing
killed.
All right,
and then it was like Mean Girls and
Mean Girls hanging around.
Something else. What was the other one?
13 going on 30.
13 going on 30.
I don't think that was it. It was something else like Kill Bill or something still in there.
All right, let me have our crack computer technician Chris hop on that. We should have an answer for you by Wednesday. So hop on that internet. Wednesday or Thursday, we should get back to you on.
But it was 4th. It was definitely 4th.
Is that disappointing?
That's not good.
It's
disappointing to me. It's disappointing me because I have a financial interest in the movie.
Do you?
I absolutely do.
You do.
It's not a big interest.
No.
But it was just like a way to pad out my paycheck,
right?
And to say like it gets to a certain point and I make a little bit, like I make a cookie and then it gets to another point and I make like another cookie.
Yeah. Yeah. Now Drew doesn't have any such luck.
No.
But you got a couple of points there. They give you a taste, but it's got to do really well in order for you to.
No, I don't have points or anything. I just have. There's just bonuses.
There's a mark. It gets over 100 million. Andy Richter.
In that, I'm not even sure the number.
$8.
No,
I'm not even. No, I get like
$2,000.
No, yeah, I get like one of those new Scions.
Yeah,
it.
He's got it. Chris has it. Must have been already on the computer.
It's Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Mean Girls. Man on Fire. New York Minute.
Oh, Man on Fire.
30.
Wow, a documentary about the gay lifestyle circus.
I'm surprised that they would be upset by something being even in the.
Who's
upset?
Had
to be number
Who's
one.
Upset?
You know what I mean?
Who's upset?
I guess
Drew?
you're upset because you're not getting the
Andy's
cookie.
upset, but don't worry. They may, you may come back next week, and then there's video releases and the whole DVD thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, overall, how much did it make, Chris? Does it say? Doesn't say. No. Drew,
I think it was around $8 or $10 million.
8 or 10. Disappointing.
I don't know.
Disappointing.
I'm
disappointed.
disappointed.
I'm disappointed in you, Drew. I feel like you let me down.
Oh, sorry.
All right. But good job on Kimmel on Friday. Enjoyed that. Andy, okay, so questions for Andy.
Yes.
And then we're going right to the phones.
Right.
So, Conan for 7 years.
Right.
How long had you known Conan, or had you known Conan before Conan became Conan?
I knew him. I only met him in conjunction for doing the show.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. I ultimately would have gotten to know him because we knew so many people in common. And actually, we'd been working together for a couple of years, and we just were talking about going to, like, he said, I was at this party a few years ago, and this thing happened. And I was like, hey, I was at that party. So a couple months before we met, we were at a party at Bob Odenkirk's house. You know Bob Odenkirk?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and sort of, I was in the front yard and he was in the backyard, and we just didn't meet.
But you guys, when you were asked to do Conan, did you audition to do Conan?
No.
Did somebody have you in mind?
He got the job because I think he and Lorne Michaels were having sex.
Oh, yeah. No, we've confirmed that.
Database told us about that.
No, he got the job, and then he said when he's like, well, I want Robert Smigel to be my head writer. And Robert Smigel, I had become friendly with through a friend of mine that was working on Saturday Night Live, and Robert was a writer there.
Right.
And
Robert, for all the uninitiated, he was on the show, does Triumph the Insult Wonder Dog.
Yeah, Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, and he does all the lips on what we call the Clutch Cargos.
Yes.
And he also does the cartoons on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, very talented.
Yeah, he is.
And he knows
talented.
it. Go ahead.
Wow.
Well,
interesting.
He's aware. He's aware of his talent. Yes.
And you're not?
I'm not aware that he's a genius.
No, of your own.
No, I don't know. See, let me tell you something about me.
All right.
You may not know.
This should
First
be good.
off,
people should know it was like he's going to stab me with a pen. One of the reasons I'm hot
to the ladies is because
Right.
I don't know I'm hot. That's number one.
Sure.
And then number two, one of the reasons the men adore me is I don't recognize my own comedic genius or overall genius.
So, see, it's not that he's not hot, not a genius, not a comedic genius. It's that he doesn't acknowledge
gives
it.
off the
know it.
Yeah,
I don't know
appearance.
it. And when
Yes.
a woman
It's not that he's not
finds
those
out,
things.
Sure.
when
It's
a
that
woman
he
is
doesn't
surprised
acknowledge
when she finds out I don't know I'm hot. And that's when they fall. See?
It's when they come in after the lovemaking and you're standing before the mirror crying.
Posing down.
One
Right. No,
single
cry.
solitary tear
That's right.
dripping. And they're like, darling, don't you know?
That's right.
You're
And
beautiful.
I'm talking about asymmetry in my nipples.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no.
Right.
Shh.
Yeah.
And they do that thing where they put their hand over my mouth because I'm saying bad things about myself.
No,
while
no.
I'm crying.
You can't even see the scars.
I just want to crawl up inside a bucket of Haagen-Dazs. I'm so fat. All right, so now
So he
Smigel's
hires
the head writer.
Robert.
Right.
Smigel calls me and says, as most of the times when you're doing a show like that, everybody says, asks all the people they know, do you have any funny unemployed friends? Which is what I was. And Robert called me and said, hey, would you like to come write on this guy Conan's show? Mm-hmm. And I said, sure. And I submitted some stuff, and then I flew out there, and I was the first writer hired on the show. And it was with the understanding that they would be performing, because all the writers on that show,
Right.
all of them end up performing in some way or another.
Right. They're being in sketches and
Yeah.
things like that.
And I was the only. There was no other sidekick. It wasn't
but
like there was a
how-
contest. It was
How
just
long
sort of.
was Conan on before you were his sidekick?
No, I was there from the very beginning.
So how did you make it from writer to sidekick? You know, it would seem like that would evolve.
It's because I didn't let them let on that I was a genius, and then they like what you were saying.
Didn't know how high you
Right?
were.
Yeah.
They made them want him more.
Right.
No, I started there in like June, and the show debuted in September. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of time of.
Right.
I wasn't writing much. And I was
That's
just
what it
cracking
was.
wise with him,
Right.
and it was just getting something out of me.
Was it
you know?
his idea, or was it
I don't
one
know.
of the
I don't know.
suit's
I think
ideas?
I think no. It was like Smigel and him. It was like Smigel and him, and he, Conan didn't talk to me much about it in the beginning. Of like, I want you to be. He let Robert do it because it's weird. It's
Right.
like it would be weird because it's sort of like actors giving each other notes, kind of.
Yeah. And
So
it's-
Smigel would say, like, why don't you go sit with him? And, like, we started in test shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the first time he ever went on set and interviewed somebody, he interviewed me.
right.
And then the next time they did, like, a test show, which was just, like, to see him in front of lights and stuff. And then they said, well, why don't you go sit out there with him? And I was kind of like, well, why? And they're like, just because he likes you.
When was that? So we
know.
can understand when that was.
That was June of 93. July. No, well, that was probably more like August of 93.
Wow.
And then when we started doing test shows in front of an audience in the studio, I was out there. They bought me like one sport coat, and I would go, and I went out there a couple of nights, and I thought I had the job. And then there was one night where they were like, "Keep the sport coat on afterwards. You're going to dinner with Lorne."
Wow.
And Conan and I got in Lorne's limo, and they took us to dinner. And there it was Lorne and Steve Martin. And I had dinner with
Wow.
Lorne and Steve Martin. And then afterwards, people told me, well, I guess you got the job. And I was like, I already thought I did,
Oh, yeah.
Was
So-
was the first year or so touch and go with
Oh.
Conan? I mean,
Beyond touch and go. It
yeah, I
was
mean, I remember
ridiculous.
just from an outsider standpoint.
Yeah.
Well, ratings aren't through the roof, and he looks a little shaky.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if there was close to pulling the plug or
there
what.
were trap doors built into the set. Yeah, and there was executives that hold on to big levers, which
Right.
weren't really connected to the trap door. No, they. I guess there was a point. Conan and Jeff Ross and Robert Smigel, they did a good job of parenting us, which is like not letting the children know that you're going to be evicted.
Right.
They just let the kids be blissfully ignorant, and all the writers and everybody else in the show. We just kept working. But actually, there was a point within the first year of the show being on. It wasn't like right away. It was 8 months into it, something where we were actually canceled on a Friday. They told him like, "No, you're not coming back." And then he came in Monday, and they didn't have a replacement. They didn't have any.
They're planning on getting
they were like
Richter to fly out.
I
for
have
that
no
day,
idea.
or?
Well, they were grooming Kinnear, and Kinnear just didn't work out. Like they kept testing him in like a larger format, and people just weren't buying it.
Right.
And I don't know why or anything.
So that was about month eight, the 8th month.
I would estimate, somewhere in there.
And so when do you feel that the show was sort of out of the woods? Was it 2 years? Was it a year and a half?
Probably 2 years was like really for sure out of the woods. But there was a point. Letterman came on the show, and really was completely complimentary about the show in like a way, like a guy who knows that kind of show better than him. Not in just like a glad handing, I'm getting back at the guys that didn't give me the Tonight Show. In a real genuine way.
Right.
He was, and I think that was, and there was a lot of press about that, and that really felt to us like the tide turning.
Okay.
And I don't know if that really made a difference. Also, too, one thing that made a difference is there were a lot of, it's hard to find a word on written. No. There were a lot. There were a lot of people at NBC, a lot of executive types who, it's hard to find a word to describe them on the radio.
Oh.
Because they were not nice people, and they were not nice. To me, I was nothing to them. They didn't even talk to me.
Oh, yeah.
But they were really awful to him. And when those people got fired, then that was sort of a sigh of relief.
It is. It's an interesting. All right, we're going to the phones, but I want to say this. Now, quiet down, Drew. I'm trying to conduct an interview. There's an interesting thing, which is if you're the network executive or executives, and some guy just crawls out of the mire known as the groundlings, and you give him a shot, and he has no business being on TV and all this kind of stuff. You're always above him, and eventually when the guard changes, the new ones come in, and the celebrities up here. A very wise man named Jimmy Kimmel once told me when I wanted to drive the vans or answer the phones or something here about 10 years ago. He said, don't do it, because you'll just become the van driver. And even if you work your way up to president of the station, whoever was there while you were driving the van is going to look at you as a van driver. Aha. And now look at me, Drew. Hot, and I don't know it. That's huge.
Right.
All right.
And you still want to drive a van, don't you?
Secretly, yeah.
Yeah. When you finally make enough money, you're going to buy yourself a van.
Not the station van.
No, he wants one with the big tiger, woman driving a car.
Yeah, no, it says Lovetron and rainbow tape.
Yeah.
And it's got the captain's chair. So it's a swivel.
And a bubble window shaped like a spade.
The bubble window.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And
you're not going to the woman on the white tiger?
Awesome.
And a Blaupunk.
Yeah.
The snow leopard.
Xena the warrior
on the snow leopard. Yeah.
Right.
Wearing the pewter bra.
There you go.
And the James Gum fake arm cast.
Huh?
Oh.
Nice.
You guys know what? Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about.
Lisa, 25. Lisa.
Hello.
Hi,
what's happening?
How you doing?
Good. Enough about me. Let's hear your problems.
Yeah, I was in Iraq for over a year.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's anxiety, but, I've never been to a therapist or anything like that, but I'm just, like, having, like, a really hard time just, like, living in general.
Are you
like,
having, like...
With the people that I used to know, and...
Well, what were you doing in Iraq?
I'm in the Army. I'm a reservist. I'm in the Army Reserve, and I was just a paralegal.
You're not having a post-traumatic stress disorder? Did you see some awful things?
Kinda. I mean, they did tell us that a lot of people experience kind of like anxiety with going back.
Right.
And whatnot, which is all fine and dandy, but they're like, that's normal, and I'm like, well, that's great, that's normal, but it doesn't make me feel better than
Ooh, wait a minute.
Lisa.
Just dropped the F-bomb there.
Yeah, it's interesting that the what they call the pre-morbid condition, how you go when you leave for Iraq or war, tends to determine your risk for post-traumatic stress disorder.
Really? So you should go with bells on.
You should go. The more pristine you are, the better you're going to.
Oh, you mean the better shape you're in emotionally?
The less likely you are to get post-traumatic stress disorder. Lisa dropping the F-bomb.
It's like when you It's like when they talk to these people and the guy had the snowboarding accident where he flew off a cliff and the doctor says if he wasn't in such phenomenal shape, he would have died there on the mountain.
Right. This is a converse of that.
Yeah, because to me, being in great shape and then dying, then who's the joke on? You know what I mean? That's why I'm not going to risk it, I think, Andy. I know Andy.
I know. Oh, boy.
Andy speaks, is subscribed to that, too.
Lisa, here's the deal. You're sounding depressed. You should get treated. You're having a post-traumatic stress disorder.
And do it through the military, right?
Military is they have people that are used to dealing with these kinds of conditions. And although they say it's normal, they're not telling you not to treat it or to ignore it. They're telling you to anticipate it and to take action when it occurs, especially if it's impairing your functioning.
Do you think the military psychologists are in like fatigues and stuff and yelling like on your knees, scumbag, you're worthless and weak, giving up in your face, your last easy day was yesterday.
I'll be watching you.
Did you get a little glimmer of her hostility and stuff though?
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, the listeners may not have heard that, but she let a few things fly there.
Somebody like that, I don't. It's like I've never been to therapy. That's like, well
that's obvious. Yeah,
but you should go because. That's like, I don't know, I'm always amazed by people that are obviously in that much pain, and they're sort of like, well, I mean, it'd be like if you broke your leg and you had a bone sticking out of it, you wouldn't go like, well, I guess I could go to the hospital. But
You'd
I mean,
be amazed,
come on.
Andy, the way people want to argue with medical care, whether mental health or general physical health providers, because it's their body and their brain, therefore it's different.
Right.
No, in fact, more so. Doctors don't take care of themselves. Mm-hmm. They go to other people to be taken care of. You have to.
All right. Let's speak to Brittany. Brittany?
Yeah, hello?
You're 17?
Yeah, I have two questions.
Right.
One of them is, what are the odds of getting pregnant when you're on the shot?
Almost zero.
Yeah.
If you've taken the shot.
I know two people that have gotten pregnant.
On the shot. And were they taking it on time? And they getting the shots on time? Mom just walked in.
Somebody walked in.
Brittany?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
I miss those days when you had to go go to the house to talk on the phone.
Who just walked in? Oh, Brittany. Brittany's
all right.
Hello?
Hello? Oh, nobody walked in.
Okay, Brittany.
What's happening?
Here's the deal, Brittany. Unless they were taking medication or not getting the shot on time, it is a very effective means of birth control.
Okay.
Okay. What's your other question?
My other question is, when me and my boyfriend have sex, like without a condom, unless he finishes inside of me, there'd be like no smell. But whenever he does, it would kind of smell weird, like kind of like.
What are you using for birth control when he does finish inside you?
What'd you say?
What? By the way, we got to get out of Los Angeles. We got to get out to Canada. Hey, Brittany. Okay, it doesn't smell when he finishes.
It does when he finishes in her.
When he doesn't finish, it doesn't smell, but whenever he does, it kind of smells.
We can blame him because it's his trash. It's only your garbage can.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my question is,
I'm romantic that way.
What are you doing for birth control on those times when he is finishing?
I'm on the shot.
On the shot.
All
right.
I would say start sneaking Glade Airwick into his food.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, some guys can have a little funk with that.
Well, yeah.
And, it's the mixing of chemistries there. And
you got a lot of flora and fauna down there.
Quite an alchemy.
It could be his diet.
Not so much.
Eating a lot of cheese?
A lot of asparagus might add a little something. But generally that actually is more an issue of bacterial growth.
Oh, really? Maybe. There we go, cheese. Maybe is he French?
Well, yeah.
Could be Brie.
May we. With Brittany, I guarantee you the guy speaks little English, mostly French.
Yes. I'm picturing an ascot and a tweed jacket.
I think a little guy with a beret.
Oh, you're thinking that kind of like Frenchy. Yes. I'm picturing more sort of I'm picturing French Riviera.
Right. I was thinking like leather jacket and sort of like long greasy hair.
Motorcycle.
Yeah.
Speaking French.
Yeah,
like that. The dangerous Frenchman.
May with Brittany.
The sexy.
Yeah, I'm still thinking. I mean, it's my fantasy. Get off my back.
So it's interesting. We've all decided that Brittany's with a Frenchman. You have picked sort of the comical striped shirt,
cartoon Frenchman,
almost a cartoon
artist.
Yes. Yeah, the pencil and mustache under the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
whereas Andy went this sort of nouveau, long, chiseled
Harley
features,
driving.
bad
A
boy,
young Depardieu.
Yes.
smoking unfiltered cigarettes, and I went the tweed jacket with the suede elbow patches
Nice.
and the
Right,
scarf,
sure.
the kerchief.
And a crest.
Any of those guys would be
Yeah.
a likely candidate.
All right.
All
right.
To have stinky,
With Brittany, specifically with Brittany.
Yeah, a little brie in her baguette. Andy Richter's here tonight. We're going to take ourselves just a little break, and we'll be right back after this. LoveLine. I'm Adam. That's Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Andy Richter's here tonight.
Hello.
Andy and Drew's new joint is called New York Minute. It is out in theaters as we speak. Andy's also in Seeing Other People, which was reviewed quite favorably on Ebert and Roper.
And although
today.
Ebert, I guess,
50% favorable.
gave it a somewhat negative
Reluctant
review.
thumb down, by the way, on Seeing Other People.
He, in his written review, called it cinematic tricks, which I thought
Called
was,
Seeing Other People?
No, New York Minute.
Oh.
Which I thought was actually
TRIX tricks. Oh,
tricks
okay.
are for kids. I thought, okay,
Oh,
yeah, that's what it
no.
is. It's
Cinematic tricks, like they were.
Yeah.
we're
TRIX.
fooling people.
TRIX.
No,
It's
okay.
like it's like
True.
a
Sure.
We're not
cereal.
reading it, you screwball. Come on out there. Come on, buddy.
No,
No, it was a long process.
it's all right, but
Yeah.
it is now. It's even more time we'll never have back.
All right, that's true.
Yeah.
Thank you.
True. World's dumbest genius. Stacy?
Stacy.
Take 5 if you can't get her.
All right.
I
Amanda?
really wanted to help her too.
Amanda?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hold
Are
on.
you-
Hold on.
Hold
What
on.
is it? It's like Quaalude stutter night? Like, why is everything like just humping a curtain? It just can't. No one's. It's
Too much Mother's Day.
Oh. Amanda?
Yes.
All right. 27. What's up?
Oh my God! I can't believe I'm actually on. You guys are like the best ever.
Thanks, baby doll.
You guys
I'm
are
gonna take
really
that, too.
educational also
Thanks.
and entertaining. I had a question about my husband.
By the way, just one quick second. Adam, I hate to put you off, but help me with this sticker. Adam just tore this sticker off because I asked him to reach it for me. Like, how dare you?
All right,
I'm putting you
Drew,
out. I'm
with
very
your stupid
sorry.
tricks.
Very sorry. Okay, go ahead, Amanda.
Okay.
Cinematic tricks.
My husband only lasts like 2 minutes at the
All
moment.
right.
And we've been married for like years.
Mm-hmm.
So I
This
don't.
is a problem for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you brought this up with him?
I'm sorry.
Have you brought this up with him? Does he know it's a problem?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Fantastic.
All right. I can't deal with it. And by the way, 2 minutes seems like a long time, but like I say to my wife, hold your breath and punch yourself in the face nonstop for 2 minutes. And then tell me
It is.
how
It's
it flies
long.
by.
Yeah.
It's long.
Put a knife in your leg.
Put a knife in your
Yeah,
leg
for 2
and
minutes.
yoke it out for 2 minutes
Right.
straight. Just
That's
put,
a
put
long
the point of the
time.
buck knife on your femur. Have it
Right.
stop there, and then just yoke it out in a long circular motion
2
for
minutes
2 minutes.
straight.
And you tell me if that's a short period of time, ladies. I don't think so.
The reality is because those sorts of behaviors do feel so long, Amanda's probably talking more about 20 seconds or so in reality.
Right.
Be that as it may,
Yeah.
certainly him doing things like masturbating beforehand, trying other things other than intercourse with you, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of working it out as a couple. Usually couples can
3
figure this out.
condoms at once.
Yeah.
Would that
Yeah.
be so hard to do?
Adding a little girth, taking away a little feeling with Andy. I see. I'm picturing Andy's a girthy man downstairs. By the way, Andy probably has one of those.
Are you just doing it now, or is it something you've done in previous?
Thought of you? He brings
Yeah,
up all
No,
the
I
time.
haven't thought of
Constantly,
it, but I'm
constantly.
picturing Andy could be one of those sleeper guys in the junk drawer.
Like a
you,
Ron
you know what I
Jeremy
mean?
type.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like who's?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
my God! Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm like Ron Jeremy, but without the nodules and left turns.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah,
Too
all right.
much-
So
too much
now,
information.
okay.
Yeah.
I just, a guy like Andy, once in a while, you know what I'm saying? Really
Yeah,
surprise you.
Let him be.
Okay. See, one of the reasons that I'm hot is because I don't know I'm hot.
Right.
Think what that just did for him.
That's the thing with Andy's penis. It's huge because he thinks it's small. Joanna?
Yes, I have a question for Dr. Drew.
Here he is.
I'm wondering, what are the biological influences, particularly of childhood trauma, on the development of addiction? And if there are any differences between just generalized trauma of adults or if early childhood trauma exhibits some sort of specific effect on addiction?
All right, hold on. I'm going to try to answer this very quickly because Adam gets bored with this kind of thing.
Sorry, Adam.
As quickly as I can, understand that everything
Chris,
that happens...
get my melatonin and fluff my pillow. Turn my bed down. And stay away from the goddamn mint. That's mine.
His long cap for sleeping.
Light my candle so I can find the pot in the middle of the chamber pot. Yeah, go ahead, Drew.
Okay. One of the extraordinary things about the humans is that things that happen during childhood have a disproportionate effect on everything else that is to follow. And the fact that trauma, particularly interpersonal trauma, affects the way the brain becomes wired is being worked out in great detail. I can tell you that essentially 100% of my inpatient addicts have a childhood trauma history, interpersonal trauma, abuse, neglect, these sorts of things, physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect. And so there is a link there, and I can tell you the thumbnail of what happens as a result of abuse is an incapacity or disruption of emotional regulatory systems. People don't integrate their brain normally in development, and as a result, they need help with emotional regulation when they hit adolescence and young adulthood. They look for solutions. The solutions our culture offers are things like drugs and sex. They work, but then they trigger this disease.
But Drew, if you say that it's you got a 50-50 chance of inheriting the gene for addiction, alcoholism, if your parents come from that, all those people that inherit the gene were abused?
No, not everyone ends up in an inpatient program. Some people have milder forms of the disease.
But you'll pretty much get someone to admit they're abused about almost anything. I mean,
no.
You will.
Well, people could theorize that having a parent who's an addict is an abandoning, neglectful parent.
It's a form of abuse.
Yeah, it's a form of abuse.
All right.
So that ups the risk right there, and people then argue, well, really, is this a gene or not, or is it just the environment of the addict? And the fact is, when they're raised even outside of the addicted home, addiction rears its head. But now is that the factor of the issues of adoption and whatnot? The fact is that the environmental hit seems to be the abuse. The biological basis seems to be the genetic mechanism, and the more serious the abuse, the more serious the disease, typically.
Are you saying that crappy childhoods make people drunks and drug addicts?
Not necessarily.
Stop the presses. Good Lord. This is really some new ground we're breaking. You knew that, didn't you, caller? I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Yes, I did, but I'm just trying to figure out if abuse is later on in life, or like combat trauma, like your first caller.
No, totally different.
Totally different. Okay.
No, it's not totally different in that what that last caller had a good evidence of is post-traumatic stress disorder, and usually in every case I've ever seen, there was a childhood trauma first, the results of which become reactivated as a result of an adulthood trauma, and those traumas can include other than interpersonal traumas, things like battle fatigue.
So somebody with who had a really well-adjusted, totally healthy childhood,
unlikely to have.
Goes to war,
Usually
sees the most horrifying atrocities ever, they're probably going to be kind of okay.
There's probably even a threshold for them, too.
Right.
But the threshold's going to be much higher than somebody who has a problem.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
That
It
makes
all makes sense.
Yeah. It makes sense with me about my cutting.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Right, can we make those jokes on there?
Yeah, I didn't know you were going to bring that up tonight, Andy.
Andy said,
I'm over here.
The hippo ones.
I'm over here with a compass, shoving it in my hand. I'm crying. My appearance here is a cry for help. Why do you think I got in that Olsen Twins movie?
To meet up with me?
Just to get here.
Shoving a compass in his. And by the way,
I don't know what a compass is.
I don't. Not the kind of. Just like
protractor.
Like cinematic tricks.
Yeah.
Yes, a protractor. Yeah, the kind that you draw circles with.
Yeah.
In
carpentry, we would call that a scribe. We use that as a scribe.
Right.
So scribe.
Okay, I should have used something better, but that a nail file.
Here's the deal. Compass was a 10 to the 5 people that got it. You see what I'm saying?
So
it was a bold choice.
Right.
It was a bold choice.
I was actually referencing an episode of Degrassi.
Oh, really?
Where there was a girl that
Nice.
cut herself, and that's what she used.
You
was
watched
a
Degrassi.
compass.
I'm very scared.
Love Degrassi.
No, tell me it's not
it's
so.
fantastic.
Really?
I don't even know what that is.
It's something my daughter watches religiously.
It's a Canadian teen show.
Been on the air,
It's like an ongoing after-school special.
but for 20 years ongoing.
Oh, it's
really?
fantastic.
Good
Yeah, but there's a
jacket,
new
huh?
one now. And because it's Canadian, like the kids...
Say a boot.
they say a boot. And also, too, if they did a similar thing here, everyone would be gorgeous.
Yeah.
And in Canada, they're not. So they're really like real kids and all the
It
drama.
reminds me of, what was that one that,
Saved by the Bell? No. Okay. All right, everyone. Let's keep moving, Drew.
Jared, what's his name? Was
Can't live in the
Oh,
past.
My So-Called
My
Life.
So-Called Life,
Yeah.
yes.
Olivia?
Doesn't it remind you of that a little bit?
Yeah,
Get those
but I didn't like that
rough-looking
one.
kids.
That one's too,
Too pretty.
yeah.
You understand this is not your own personal intercom.
Where'd you go to high
Here,
school?
This actually broadcasts.
In Illinois,
Oh,
Yorkville High
yeah.
School.
All right, Drew, that's enough. Olivia?
Hello,
College?
guys.
Hi, Olivia.
21?
Sorry. Do you watch Degrassi?
No, but I've heard of it.
Hey,
Yeah.
you should. You should watch it. It's
My
really-
daughter watches it religiously.
I'm
It's
sure I
fantastic.
should.
Tell you, I
Yeah.
don't watch Degrassi, but I smoke Degrassi.
Oh, damn!
I'll tell you what, 7:22, 22 after 7. Andy Richter in studio today. Andy, funny cat.
Oh, man.
Funny cat. Used to catch him on Cannon. Andy has got a new show coming up called New York Minute. It's also got something coming out. It's coming out, sitcom coming out.
Oh,
on
my God,
Fox.
it's coming
We're
out
gonna
right
talk about
now.
That.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there
it
it's out.
goes.
Don't drop towel, Adam.
I'll drop
Don't
towel.
do it.
I'll
Don't
drop towel. Drew, tell
Andy,
Andy I'll drop
Andy
towel.
will
Drop
drop. He's
towel. I
wild,
will
man.
drop
He
towel.
will drop
Stop
towel.
me.
So
I'm
watch
going
out.
to
That's all right.
drop. I will drop down.
Andy?
7:23 after 7 o'clock. Andy Richter in here. Funny man. Olivia.
Yes. Hello.
You're-
Thank you for
Olivia. We were
Sorry.
talking to Juliana a second
Too
ago.
bad. You're 21. What's up?
All right. Something happened last week. A couple of my friends took me out, and I got drunk. And I ended up passing out in one of my friend's beds. And it was a guy. And I woke up sometime early in the morning. He had been somewhere else, and I guess he made his way to his bed, and he passed out too. We had both been pretty drunk. And I woke up early in the morning, and he was just like playing with my clit. He wasn't like on top of me or anything.
Was it attached? It was attached to you, right?
Oh, yes, it was still attached to me. He
No,
wasn't
he wasn't
like
out in the driveway kicking it around or something.
Yeah, no.
That happened to my sister.
Oh,
Nothing
really?
like that.
That's bad times.
Yeah.
But then,
And then my dad backed over it. It was
Oh,
a disaster.
my.
All right, so
We gotta take a break.
He was diddling you when you woke up or when you came around,
yeah,
and that was the following morning.
it was pretty early. It was about 4 or 5.
I have some interesting
I
thoughts
believe.
here.
Okay, all right. Hold on a second. Andy Richter in studio, funny guy.
Did
I
the
know
audience hear what she said about
Yeah.
playing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't say the F or the S word.
Oh, wow.
We
Can't
can
even
say
lose
that.
it. Can't even say the F or the S word. Can't even say.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
Caught Andy's act at Caroline's a few months back. He's got a really funny rape bit. I think if he would share that. When we
I
come
call
back-
it non-consensual.
When we come, that's
Rape is an ugly word.
That's part. Okay, don't do the whole act just yet. Andy Richter here. New York Minute. Drew's in that film too. 7:24, 24 after 7 o'clock. We'll take a quick.
Speaking of rape.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, it's LoveLine. I'm Adam. That's Dr. Drew. Andy Richter is in studio tonight.
Adam, we ended that last segment with a bunch of quite a discourse on rape, and I thought maybe you want to share your thoughts about rape with Andy.
Oh, okay.
I think it's time.
well, I should.
Yeah.
I could just check your website.
No.
Well,
it's
I just-
important that he described the connotation of all this.
Rape is not a sexual crime. It's a violent crime. It's a violent assault. It has nothing to do with sex. It's a violent assault where you come at the end. But it is no different than any other crime of violence. So, for instance, if I held up a liquor store, threatened the Korean owner, took all the money, and then came, it would be no different than, me physically, attacking, a coach on another team.
Sure.
If, like, it was a little league, and, I disagreed with the call, and we got it, and, I orgasm. But it is an act of violence where you come.
No.
But do not mistake it for a sexual act. It is a violent, brutal, violent act where you ejaculate. No different, Drew, than for instance, a vehicular manslaughter. If I chased you down and ran you over my car and came, it would be no different than that. Do you understand?
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Andy, you're on board with that?
I get it.
Nothing sexual at all.
It's not sex.
Pure violence.
Not sexual.
Pure violence.
It's
Unless
only.
it's pedophilia, then I guess they say it is sex.
Oh yeah, interesting.
That's what they say, yeah.
Right.
They, and by they, I mean, I don't know. I mean the cast of the OC. That's who I mean.
Olivia?
Hello.
All right, so
there we go.
You got drunk, you fell asleep or passed out, you woke up, a guy was diddling you, and this was in the morning, but the early morning.
Yeah.
And now what were you...
Had you gone to sleep in the same bed with him?
I had fallen asleep, and then he had been somewhere else, and then it was his bed. So
let me ask you a strange question.
He crawled into bed.
It might seem
into his
question.
bed.
Have you had therapy before? Psychotherapy?
Yes.
Yeah. And were you because that's where that trust is coming from that we're feeling.
Yeah.
It's like first you get the abuse thing, and then it's like, but I'm looking to you for help.
Yeah.
You gave us a real specific feeling, Olivia, when you opened this call.
I've had my share of sexual abuse in the past.
Got it. We got it loud and clear. We also got loud and clear that you've had effective, or at least somewhat effective, therapy.
Yeah.
And so what we heard, what we felt, and this is going to sound kind of
well, this is mainly
hocus-pocus-y.
Drew. You made me and Andy feel like we needed more coffee.
But you agreed with me when I brought it up.
I did. You felt like somebody who'd
been an abuse survivor.
Who'd been abused, and then someone who'd gotten help.
Right. What I felt was I felt the hostility and the setup and the victimization, but that you were coming to us with an open, trusting attitude to a certain degree in terms of trusting another person for help. And that was where the therapy has worked in the past. Unfortunately, you have once again found yourself into a victimized situation.
I found this happen. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I had a question, but I mean, I'm not sure because I have had a lot of therapy before, and I mean, I want this. Whatever I'm doing wrong, I want it to stop.
I know that. I think it's time to get back in therapy. Is what I'm going to say because I think you somehow decided to be a victim again, because the whole thing about getting drunk and getting down to the guy's room and picking that guy to be asleep with, that was not an accident. I hate to put it on you. And not that the guy's not an a-hole and shouldn't be completely held accountable for what he did. The only way that you can change things, knowing what you've been through in the past, is to take care of those things that are going on internally.
All right. And not to say that this guy's not an a-hole.
Absolutely. He is accountable for what he did. He is an a-hole. But she knows she's a victim. She sets these victimizing roles up, and here we are.
All right. So, Olivia.
Back to
therapy.
And you trust. You have the ability to trust somebody. You have ability. You've gotten effective help from people who wanted to help you. You've let that happen. You need to go to the next level with it. It's time to go back. Okay.
All right.
I just wondered, would it do any good at all to even bring this up to him?
To him, no.
The guy who did it?
No, stay away from this guy. But if you want to tell authorities that you were sort of had a sexual assault, that'd be hard to prove and hard to get anything out of that. But I certainly would have no problem with that.
The guy, other than legal action, you should not spend any time.
Stay away. Just get away from him.
Here's my other rape joke that Dr. Drew doesn't get or he doesn't like, but it always cracks me up.
This should be good.
Like 1,000 rape jokes.
This is my promo.
It's
a good.
When you're done with yours, because my wife has a good one.
You should go.
That she springs on mommy groups.
I hope it's not one of my. It's frustrating sometimes when somebody says, "Yeah, my wife's got a good rape joke," and then you hear it, and it's like, "Hey, that was my rape joke. She must have stole my rape joke."
We all know that one.
Sure, she stole it from you. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So here, it's not even a joke, but it's no good since Hack went off the air. But I used to.
That is so true about so much.
I know. I would always amuse all the writers at Kimmel by saying, this week on Hack, in order to catch an arsonist, Hack is going to have to become a rapist. See, he always becomes a rapist, no matter whatever it is this week. It's embezzlement, it's fraud, it's everything. Hack always has to become a rapist in order to catch. That's the twist.
Yeah.
I call it the rape twist. Drew, you want to speak to Pat?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk to Pat, who's 18. Pat?
Hey, what's up?
You're a big fan of Andy's?
Yes.
All right, hurry. We're short on time.
Hi, Pat.
All right. I also want to say that I saw the movie with Dr. Drew and the Olsen twins and Andy, and I loved it, I got to say.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're gay.
My buddy
Andy's
Will
speaking Chinese in it.
Yeah. That was
Chinese
great.
accent.
It was kind of
Well, he
confusing.
does speak Chinese.
I do speak a little bit of Mandarin, yeah.
Yeah.
Or so they tell me.
What's up, Pat?
Well, yeah, I just want to say my buddy Will and I went to see it, and we both gave Drew a standing ovation.
Oh,
wow.
There you
wow,
go.
nice.
See, Adam.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask Andy what were some future projects, that you'd be working on.
Well, I did a show. I'm going to be doing a show. It's a show on Fox, another sitcom called, well, you know what? It'll either be called Quints or Quintuplets. I play the father of 15-year-old quintuplets.
Wow.
I'm in a whole
You should be
multiple birth thing. Yeah,
You
twins
can't
onto
possibly-
quintuplets.
Oh.
That's a good idea.
It debuts June 16th. It's part of their the Fox summer launch that all of America's talking about.
Yeah, it's buzzing.
And that just the mention of is bringing people out of comas. And it'll be on June 16th, Wednesdays at 8:30. It's a very funny show. And I'm now officially old enough to be the father of teenagers in casting terms.
Is that nice?
Which last year I wasn't.
We
1 year made all the difference.
Hold on a second. We got to take ourselves a little break here.
Oh, we do?
Andy Richter's here, and we'll talk. And I'll heap a little praise on you for Andy Richter controls the universe too, by the way, which I really enjoyed. We'll take a quick break. Andy Richter's here, and we'll be right back after this. Hey, everybody. It's LoveLine. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Dear new friend, dear friend, Andy Richter.
Dear.
He's a dear friend of mine.
Dear.
Andy Richter in studio tonight. Andy's got a couple movies, couple things. Got Seeing Other People, which is out in limited release, but got a good review. Then he's in Drew's movie, New York Minute, out in a wide release. And
Which
then,
is how people are referring to it, as Drew's movie.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
of course.
And then middle of the summer, June 16th, got another chance on Fox, which is good because Andy had a sitcom that only lasted a season or
Two
so.
seasons.
2 seasons, yeah.
2 seasons.
It was 2 seasons, but it was mid-season both seasons, which is sort of like a pat on the back and a punch in the gut.
How
at the same
many
time.
How many episodes of Andy Richter
There
Controls
are
the Universe?
19, but I think only 15 or 14 aired.
All right, so it felt to me like a season's worth of shows.
Oh yeah, it's less than a season's
Everybody I ever spoke to liked that show.
worth. I know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it's one of those, here's what it would be the equivalent to. It'd be the equivalent to you going up to the plate against Pedro Estacio or some fastballer, hitting one that just missed the foul pole and went into the bleachers would have been a grand slam, fouling a few off, taking a few, and eventually striking out after a very courageous at-bat. You can hold your head up walking back to the dugout.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, probably score some points. I mean, it was almost too ambitious. It was almost too good for
the public.
Too good. A little too hit.
No, it wasn't. I don't see. I mean, if the show had been on and had been left on in a fair way, I would be more than willing to go, you know what? People just didn't really want to see it. But it was constantly being dicked around and moved from one spot to another and taken off the air for a month and then put back on for 3 weeks, showing twice a week, and then taken off for 2 weeks and then put back on another night.
Right.
And there's no way to build any kind of viewership like that. And, and to me, what was evidence of the show being mishandled was like you said, everybody seemed to really like it. I mean, I'm not saying like it was the greatest thing ever. But it was a pretty good show.
Andy, what are they going to tell you?
I know that's
what are
true.
They going to tell you?
That's true because a lot of people when they meet me, they think I'm retarded, and so they just from the way I look.
That's it.
And they
I'm retarded.
I'm retarded. See, but while it was on in the second season, I had a number of people say, "When's your show coming back on?" And it had been on for like 2 months.
Right.
And then I had not as many, but yet a few people say, while the show is still in the air in the second season, "Man, I'm so mad that your show got canceled."
Yeah.
It's like a hot knife in your guts,
Right.
It's not canceled.
Searing knife.
So, but now I'm back with Fox.
Well,
because there's been some management change.
You're not bitter. That's the important thing.
I am a little bitter.
Oh.
I'm mad.
That's right.
No, I am a little bitter. Wouldn't you be bitter?
I
Come
would
on.
be. Yes.
Yeah, I bet you.
No, you know what? I would be outraged. I would be outraged.
Yeah, it's ironic. I'm just finding it ironic that the people that are as mad as hell and aren't going to take it anymore are the people who are actually on TV.
Yeah, they're not
yelling at the television hierarchy.
Right.
Not at the public, but
no.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the public, what can you do?
Very fickle.
Yeah, I'll throw my pearls before those swine as long as I can, till the day I die.
The point is Andy Richter's a survivor, and he lands on his feet, this kid.
That's right.
And he's got another shot on Fox. They cleaned the little house over there, and he's back in smelling like a rose.
That's right.
And
I've been to rehab, so they're letting me back on.
That's right. He's
No
cleaned
more
up.
pills.
All right. I don't believe Andy's ever... Andy, have you ever thrown up because of alcohol?
Oh
you
yeah,
have?
yeah,
Oh, good.
absolutely.
All right, now we can hang.
I was thinking you're still in a little bit of the yummy phase, weren't you?
Yeah, I was
What do you mean, yummy?
I got this theory. There are adults. Okay, here's it. There are adults, and I worked with many of them over here at the Mother Station for a number of years, the morning show, namely Kevin and Bean.
Yeah.
And then their old producer Frank and a whole bunch of guys. And for instance, at 5:30 in the morning, I was the only one drinking a cup of coffee. They were drinking hot chocolate or Mountain Dew or something like that. And then we'd go, one time we all went to Seattle and we went out to a nice fish joint. We're in, the microbrew capital of the world. And they're ordering, Frescas and Sprites. And I'm the only one getting the microbrew kind of thing.
And probably ordering, like, burgers at the awesome fish place, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese.
Right.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese. And then I realized, okay, every child is born into the yummy phase. I mean, kids don't like beer, they don't like cigars, they don't like whiskey, they don't like poontang. They don't, although we're not sure. Because I'm going to get the bottom of it with my kid. Yeah. But the point is they don't like these things because they don't really taste good. I mean, a beer does not taste good. It tastes like a beer.
Right.
And so if they have their choice, well, they're not going to eat smoked salmon and caviar and a cigar. You're going to eat a grilled cheese with a lot of ketchup on it, Lucky Charms, and Mr. Pibb. And once in a while you meet an adult who still seems to be trapped in the yummy phase.
Absolutely.
Now, somewhere along the line, like in your teens, peer pressure sets in. You're forced to drink the Mickey's Big Mouth in the park until you puke with your buddies or suck up a Winston cigarette or something. You learn this sort of, you learn these things. Now, I don't think they ever really taste good. Like whiskey and even like red wine and stuff, it doesn't taste good. It just tastes like red wine. It tastes like whiskey. A woman tastes like a woman. These are, you learn to appreciate them. The guys in the yummy phase, they get trapped in it. They take it to the grave.
But I also
think...
Is that
not you?
No, that is not me at all. No, I have very grown-up taste.
He's gone the other way.
They're sort of like so grown-up, it's kind of creepy.
Really?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the muskier, the better.
You guys
know what I'm saying?
You guys could hang.
Your baby, don't shower. No. I know. You just got back.
Baby, don't shower. In fact, die.
Wait a minute. Go to spinning class, then die.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk.
And then we'll talk in a week.
Not.
Yeah. You get in my trunk, and then we'll talk. No. Oh, come on. You started it. This, you're the guys. This is I always love
I knew you were one of the
everybody's like, hey, come on. Let's, let's walk down here. All right. You want to walk down here? Let's walk down here. Damn it. No, but I actually do think though that the taste buds evolve, and
I
think
agree
that
with you. I think it's actually
that,
neurological.
I think that the taste
I don't
buds
think they
evolve
evolve.
so
I
that
think they actually kind of burn out a little bit. The whatever it is, I think we are programmed to want fatty and sweet foods because we need the calories to grow. And as we mature, those mechanisms deteriorate, go away, change, alter, configure to something more discriminating.
Yeah, and just something like you appreciate sour and bitter, and
yes.
there's something sort of chemical and structural that goes on.
I don't think you learn that so much as it's sort of part of maturing. Because
I think
biologically,
if you raised people to adulthood on an island and only gave them kid food and then brought them back to society, if those adults would like coffee pretty quickly.
Yep, I agree.
Most of those, totally, and those ones that like that yummy crap would like that yummy crap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So you're saying, but from so you crave the fats, you crave the starches, you crave the sugars when you're young. Everybody needs it, and then later on,
it shuts off.
You start turning on like whiskey and hooker nipple.
Dead
stuff like the dead hooker.
My older brother is a total like my older brother
hooker jerky.
You know when because he's had health problems. He's 3 years older than me, and
what's he got?
He's just had gallbladder issues and stuff, and so the way he's adjusted himself, his diet, he's overweight, but he's also a gigantic person. He's like 6'5", and he's a really big man. But the way he's adjusted is that he'll only get 3 candy bars a day, you know. And I honestly I cannot remember the last time. It's been probably 20 years since I bought a candy bar.
Yeah, stolen many, but
yes. No, but I mean, after Halloween, there'll there'll be the minis around, and I might have one. It's not like I would be above it, but never would I go to the gas station.
And he's a big movie star.
Yeah,
and get a.
He can't be.
Hey, and
can't be what? Eating candy?
No, I know what you're saying.
I go to the gas station. I hang out at the gas station all the time.
You got to smoke some pot. You smoke some pot.
I have to.
Yeah.
Now I did. Now, all right.
We'll wait for the break.
Yeah. Sure.
No.
I've come all the way around with Andy. Every fraternity house has an Andy.
Yeah.
No. See that people think they put me in the frat thing, but
no.
Oh no.
What'd you do? What'd you do?
The frat houses are loaded with
what?
Can I say dicks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
dicks. Yeah.
I don't like that.
I do not like that. I do not like.
Could you?
Yeah.
I actually was. It's actually sort of probably my darkest secret. There's the homo stuff, but then the other darkest secret is I was a member of a fraternity.
You are?
Where'd you go?
I started out at University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. Yeah, and I went and I joined a fraternity because I was from a small town, and I thought, well, if I want to have a social life, and U of I is chokingly Greek.
Really?
It's like one of the. At the time, it was
it's
fairly
the biggest
academic
school too. I mean,
it's a pretty good school. Yeah, I went there because it was cheap and I had pretty good grades and I couldn't afford Northwestern, so I thought I'll join.
We've seen Northern Illinois State.
Yeah,
Northern Illinois. It's just Northern Illinois in DeKalb.
Yes,
yeah,
we've been there twice.
Yeah, that's part of this. Yeah, that's part of the.
They invented.
You had to go back. Was it Cindy Crawford days? She's from there.
Barbed Wire and Cindy Crawford.
Yeah, I had to point out, much to the dismay of the large crowd, that yes, Cindy Crawford may have been born here, but she got her ass out as soon as she could walk. I mean, she took off immediately, which is all you have to know, because
the town sort of ejected her.
Yeah, well, the thing is it shouldn't be where you're born. Anyone can be born anywhere. Right. It's where you end up. And she was smart enough at 13 to hit Milan and get the hell out of there. And never been back.
I'm hitting Milan.
Anyway,
I'm taking my mole and getting out.
The other thing,
I joined a fraternity because I thought that's the only way to party, and I quickly realized it was a mistake.
Yes.
Because it was very much like what I feel like is happening in this country, because I sort of ended up hanging with the stoners, and the stoners were really kind of cool, but they couldn't be bothered to
have a life?
No, to hold offices of power within the house. So it was all these other guys that when you made fun of the fact that it was some sort of all the the rituals and stuff were just crypto fascist BS from some goofy Baptist from 112 years ago, and said no, this is that's stupid, all that stuff, and they get really mad at you.
Wow.
That's it was sort of but those guys were the only ones who would run for office, so they would set the rules. Right. I know.
Yeah,
and
well,
now they're all apologizing for photos and videos.
Yeah, those guys haven't had shows canceled on Fox. No way.
What does that mean?
No, you're
just fishing. You're just fishing. You don't even know what that is.
No, it was a subtle dig. It was bad. I shouldn't have said anything. I'm lashing out because
I'm sorry. He's never had a show on Fox alone canceled.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's get back to the phones. But let me say this: do you feel this way sort of about politicians like this sort of Dan Quayles and even the George Bushes and many others in office? You get the feeling, when they were 19, they were that stupid fraternity guy who was, making everyone go by the pledge book and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Didn't seem to be very creative. Didn't seem to be very smart, but yet seemed to sort of power forward despite their own inadequacies emotionally and intellectually. All right. Amanda?
Adam feels much better now.
Thank you. Oh, you know what I wanted to mention before Drew cut me off is DeKalb also invented barbed wire.
Yeah.
That's their big claim to fame, which, again...
They have the museum there.
I had to point it out to them that was no big kicks either. Wire and barbs both existed. You guys just... put them together.
Barbs. Yeah, but the barb industry was
really
struggling until they finally put it with wire. Oh, there's barbs all over the place.
Yeah,
here.
but the people that got in on the ground floor of the barb industry are laughing pretty good now, Andy. Pretty
Where
good.
do you think Barbie came from?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, Mr. Smart.
Amanda?
Uh-huh.
You're 22?
Yeah.
What's up?
Okay, so I have a little bit of a problem. I kind of have gotten in trouble sleeping around with different people. I had a boyfriend for about 3 years a while ago. More recently, I dated a guy for a couple of months, and we're still friends. We still talk. We kind of broke it off while he's getting divorced. And his problem is that he thinks that because that was my past, that if we were to get back together, he thinks I'll keep...
Amanda, hang a second. Let me get this straight. He was somebody you were cheating with?
No, well, he was in the process of getting a divorce when I met him.
No, I understand that he was cheating, but were you also cheating?
No.
You never cheated on him.
Not on him. Well,
or you never used him to cheat on someone else?
Well, yeah, when we met, he asked me all kinds of questions about my past and had a really big interest in everyone that I had, been with. He wanted to know. Yeah. Which is understandable. I mean, I think it goes both ways.
It is, but it isn't. We generally believe that people shouldn't freak each other out with that. On the other hand, from your standpoint, you should understand, unless you do some significant work on yourself, history does predict future.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and then the thing is, this is what happened. He knew that, when I was first talking to him, before we were officially dating, I was seeing someone else at the same time. And
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He expects that you will do to him what you have done to other boyfriends.
Yeah, and what he did to you.
And what he did, and you should expect the same thing because he cheated on somebody too.
Sort of.
Yeah,
going through a divorce.
His wife, he never loved her.
All right.
They all say that. They all say that when they get divorced.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, and that's what he tells me now, but it was really his suggestion. He told me, you need to call Dr. Drew and figure out what the heck's wrong with you.
Okay, well, hold on. How many times have you done this?
Well, okay, so I dated a guy for 3 years, and he was the first person I slept with. Since then, I've slept with 7 other people.
All right.
And that was...
I know, but I'm asking you how many times you cheated on one of them.
Yeah.
I haven't. I cheated on my boyfriend of 3 years once.
All right.
And then
this guy's making you feel bad.
Yeah. Hold on. Hang on a second. Let's clarify even further. Is that cheating episode, was that at the end of that relationship? Was that already
it's a
done?
little more complicated than that. I knew he was going to be leaving. He had to do this church religious mission thing. And so I knew a long time before he was going to be leaving, and I think that was hard for me to handle.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but it was towards the end of the 3 years.
All right. So here's what's going on.
Yeah.
The guy is an older guy.
Yeah.
She's 22. He's doing a little mind control thing on her. I don't like this guy that much. I like the idea that he said to talk to Dr. Drew.
You like that, huh?
For some reason.
That's what you like about him best.
That's the only thing he's got going for him.
But
even that's kind of manipulative because he knows you that you'd respond positively to that.
Maybe I'm playing into his hand.
Exactly.
Amanda, how old is this guy?
He's going to be 23.
So he's a young guy, and his marriage didn't last very long.
Well, yeah, and like I said, like he married the woman he married. It was because of like.
All right, I don't
No,
care.
we don't care.
Look,
Yeah.
here's what it is. This guy's 23. When you're 23, you ask all those horrible questions, and you become some sort of
Sherlock
bizarre
Holmes.
stenographer of this person's past, and they want to know everything. And then as soon as you collect all that information, you then start using it against them, and you end up confusing the person because it's like it's done in a way where I just don't want that to happen to me, and it's all BS.
It's not even that. It's just that male bravado. It's just the testosterone is making them angry that this is territory where other males have been. That's period.
That you were cheating on him before you even knew him.
Exactly.
Right.
That is the effective.
Yeah.
That's the affect state they're in. It's all BS.
Right. So here's what I think women, by the way, because this happens to almost every young woman when she hooks up with a 19 or 22-year-old guy or something. Here's the tack they should take, not only for them but for the guys.
Yep.
Because you have to treat guys like you're treating a pet or a child.
Yep.
They need boundaries. They need to be contained. The pet needs to go in the crate. Otherwise, it's going to run all over the house.
Crap everywhere.
Crap everywhere.
Right. Absolutely.
Same with the kid, by the way. Do they have crates for them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because otherwise you can't transport them, can you?
No, you got to be in a box.
Okay.
They're called boxes for kids.
So here's the thing. I go and punch holes in the top of the
They
mason
come with the
jar.
holes. They come with the holes.
Okay. So here's the thing. You need to say to them, look, I'm not a virgin. Neither are you. I love you. You love me. Let's move forward. I have no diseases and I have no problems.
Right. Even clearer in this. Look, I haven't done anything unusual for somebody my age.
Right.
I've had other relationships. You can count on me to be monogamous in this one. That's my intention. Nobody's perfect. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, but first you need to tell yourself that you haven't done anything wrong. Because I think he's
some people have.
Yeah,
Hold
but
on
no,
a
but I
second.
mean,
Let me write that
but you
down.
know what? Life is. You know, people do a lot of stuff, and you probably. I'm assuming you never killed anybody, or that that you were never cruel to anybody.
Right.
But stuff happens, and if this guy is making you feel bad, and first of all, I don't like the fact that he's snooping around.
We're more worried about him.
preemptively.
Yeah, we're more worried about him than we are about her.
Yeah, yeah.
Although we're completely capitulating to the fact that he referred her to us.
Right. Yeah. No, but I do think too that if he's making you feel bad about what does not sound to me like from the little bit of information does not sound like like you have anything to feel bad about whatsoever.
We agree.
That you next time this happens, say get out.
Andy just sort of coast into a stuff.
I don't know. I realize what the hell am I talking about?
It's late. It's Sunday night.
Come on.
Mother's Day.
Let's go.
New York
I'll
Minute.
tell you, let me jump
Everybody
in.
go see it.
Let me get a little time.
Okay.
7:22 after 7 o'clock. Andy Richter in studio tonight. Coasting to a Stop New York Minute coming out. Coasting to a Stop, not a bad name for a sitcom.
Coasting to a Stop.
Yeah, it's time for a break.
That really sounds like something. Yeah.
You want to see that? You want to check
something
that
called
out.
Inertia. Check it out.
Amanda, I hope that helped out. But it's not. It's your
right.
boyfriend is right. You are freaking out a little bit, but we are also concerned about him.
Too much talk
He's
about
being
her.
a jerk.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me just check in with Anthony before we go to break. Anthony?
Hey, how you guys
How's the
doing?
weather in Arcadia, Anthony's?
You're-
74 degrees?
Drew, Adam,
Yeah,
Andy.
25.
Hi.
Yeah, my question is for Drew. I've become a compulsive eater over the years after my teenage years, after high school. What I pretty much do is I'll watch what I'm eating during the day, but then at night I'll go out on a binge. I'll go to a fast food joint and just eat burgers and fries and.
All right. Hold on a second. Hold on. We got to take a break. We got to go. Drew's going to go rape the candy machine, ironically, during the break. Let me just say this. It just struck me, everyone's always talking about fast food and what it's doing to the kids, and everyone's getting obese and everything.
I know I am. I'm always talking about it.
The thing they don't talk about, and I haven't really thought about, is fast food. The drive-thru is open till midnight or 2 o'clock everywhere now, which is really adding a whole new wrinkle to this stuff.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, the place would close at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Maybe the late night one stayed open at 10. But there's no more of that sitting around feeling the urges at 1:30 in the morning and hitting the drive-thru.
Yeah.
Right.
Like knowing it's out there, knowing you're $4 away from something that's open till 2 a.m. and it's around the corner. That's an extra.
Well, and it's good
Put a
because
severe dent in the 7-Eleven bean burrito business.
and as we've been hearing
Absolutely.
since our childhood, Adam, 60 million children go to bed hungry in our country
That's
every
right.
night.
That's right.
And hunger is a huge problem. We've been hearing nothing but that and secondhand smoke since we were 12.
Right. Yeah. Which is it? Yeah. Well, they're hungry and morbidly obese at the same time.
And smoking.
And smoking. Actually, there's a smoker blowing secondhand smoke. We're going to take a quick break. Andy Richter here tonight. We'll
maybe
talk to. No, he's got a second win. He was coasting a little there. He's back. He's a dear friend.
I didn't have anything more to say.
No, that's all right.
It's good. Actually, I just realized I don't care about anyone's problems but my own. I know it's a problem with a show like this, but you had me come back.
No, we did.
We did.
Andy
first place.
Andy clearly didn't want to come tonight. I was surprised to see him here, quite honestly. I really was. When I came through the door at 9:50,
I do what I say, except when I forget.
That's right. All right. Dear
and I
friend,
do like
Andy,
you haven't brought it up.
No, and you know what? We got to go to break. I'd like to at least attempt to hang out with you a little bit. Just not now, not for a few years,
right?
But just because you're on my short list of cool people to hang out with. You know, like I was saying, yeah, me and Richter, we bowl a little bit. We should play some cards.
Yeah.
Something. It's cool.
We went to Splash, got a tub.
You're very high. You have regarded very highly in the industry.
Thank you.
Cool guy.
For the hangout factor.
Yeah, for the hangout factor. All right, we'll take a quick break, and can you introduce me to Odenkirk too? By the way, because he's on my list.
You want to meet him?
He's on my list. Cool guy. I was hanging out with Richter and
I can maybe
Richter and Odenkirk. Me and him we're just kicking around some ideas. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize I'd be dropping.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, it's LoveLine. I'm Adam. That's Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Dear friend, guy I like to hang out with, Andy Richter is here tonight.
Thank you.
Me and Richter and Odenkirk and Chappelle were hanging out this week.
Man, you are cool, Adam. You are so cool.
We're just kicking around some ideas.
You are
sure.
Wow.
We don't talk about the
Your
business.
stock has just gone
we don't like
so
to talk
high.
about the
Yeah.
business.
And Hitler's clone was there too.
Yeah. He apologized.
He did.
Yeah. He
a
kinda,
lot.
He didn't say it in as many words, but you could tell by his
could tell.
posture.
Right.
Yeah.
By the heel clicking. It didn't have the snap that it should have.
No. Yeah. You know, like once in a while you see a dog's tail wagging, but it's a please don't hit me wag, not I'm happy to see you
Tell
wag.
me about it.
Yeah, the click. Not
They're
as
kinda pulling
crisp.
their tail
not
under
crisp.
as they're-
And harder to do with a clog, by the way, than the boots. 'Cause
that's why there's no hippie Hitlers.
That's right, because you take Birkenstocks and you try to do the click, and it's just suede on suede.
Sure.
It doesn't work.
Well, what do you do about those high boots, too? The high leather boots.
Up to the knee,
Doesn't work.
Anthony?
Anthony's the secret binger. And what
That's right.
So you want to know how to stop this?
Yeah, because, it's a terrible cycle, you know.
All right. Are you overweight now?
Actually, I've lost 120 pounds. I'm about at 200, but I can tell that,
You're coming back.
It's like I had the willpower, I was walking during the days, exercising and all that.
All right, got it.
You know,
There's a couple things. Well, first of all, not everything is known about this kind of syndrome. It's not as though we can give you real discrete answers for why you do the things you do. Mm-hmm. But there are things like the way you eat sort of sets up some of this biology of compulsive eating. That you take these high-fat, high-carbohydrate foods late in the day, raises your insulin levels, drops your sugars, so you have more hunger. You can even get kind of an addictive syndrome with carbohydrates. It's not like,
Yeah, I love sweets. I'll eat like 3 or 4 donuts,
Some people get that, and then when they stop, they have to actually go through a withdrawal and put their diet into a much more balanced routine. And so part of what you could do is see a dietitian. Secondly, there probably is some sort of motivational priority of your brain set up by your emotional problems that's causing you to seek solutions through food. So you can get some therapy. It's something you can do.
What about them being a bad person?
And him being a bad person, too. And then thirdly, the other thing, now, Anthony, do you remember when you lost 120 pounds, how you got to that point where you finally were willing to make the change and lose the weight?
Yeah, it was like one of the motivational things was I was watching that what was that, Wild On thing on E!
Please say Dr. Phil, because Drew will go through the roof. Yeah.
And Wild On, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I want to go to one of those beaches,
And how did you feel about yourself at that moment not being able to go to the beach?
Well, I was depressed, I was like,
Was
man,
it just...
and you know.
Did you have any other stronger feelings about yourself at that time?
What was that?
Did you have any stronger feelings than just depression about yourself that you sort of when you saw yourself as you were?
Well, yeah, but I've actually thought about taking my life, you know, a few times.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I'm not really fishing for that, but
I saw that Wild On thing last night, actually, and just reminded me to beat off.
Yeah,
I couldn't actually beat off to it, but it was like a heads up. It's like, oh, yeah. That's right.
Mental note, Adam.
Yeah, don't forget.
It's like a beat off Post-it. Wild On. It's just stuck, you know, like a refrigerator magnet. You know, like, this isn't exactly the whole message, but this is going to remind me not to forget.
See, the meat department at Ralph's is like that for me.
For you. You see that chub pack of ground beef, and you think, oh, yeah. Especially when they form it in that circle. With the, you know, they do the donut-shaped one every once in a while.
Well, why, of course, why else would they?
It reminds you of the dead hooker. Yeah.
So here's the deal, Anthony. One of the things, I've been doing some interviews lately on people who are able to make change, and the one thing that every single person has said to me, I talked about this last week.
Go ahead.
Was that when they get to the point where they can see themselves as they really are, they will feel disgust. And at the point at which they feel disgust, they have no problem making change.
Mm-hmm.
So really it becomes about getting to the point where you can see yourself as you really are and staying with that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't, then that's time for therapy.
You know what, I can't figure this whole thing out. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine who was just explaining to me that when he grew up, there was a drawer in the kitchen just filled with candy bars. And his mom said, you know, hey, eat as much as you want. I guess the theory was to get rid of the little taboo around it. And the kid ends up not having much of a sweet tooth. On the other hand, that might backfire, too. And on the other hand, me being deprived of that and being fed, oat mush my whole life, that crappy, I should sue both my parents. If I thought they had a penny, I would sue both of them, by the way. The only thing my dad's got is that car I lease him, by the way. So it's the only thing that guy's worth. But the point is I eating all that crappy bran and everything, all that health food crap, just made me crave the other stuff more. So that's not a good route to go. So what's the route?
Balance.
Just balance, moderation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I bet you got an awesome cola note, dude.
Oh, it's great.
You got to give him credit for that.
His bowel movements are great.
Yeah.
World class.
They come out. They're like spun sugar. They just and they're cubed.
Check it out, too. Check it out.
Yeah.
CorollaBM.com.
Yeah. I let like an Aztec pyramid go in the toilet the other day. It's like tourists climbing it using a rope.
Step pyramid.
Ka-punk.
Step pyramid. Yes, nice.
I did have a particularly messy session the other day, and my wife walked in the bathroom like 2 days. It's been about a day later. Looked down the toilet, and she's like, "Oh my God, what happened here?" And it's like, what do you mean, what happened?
What happened?
Yeah, I went out. I went around the neighborhood and collected crap, and I took a dump. What do you mean, what happened? I don't need that.
My wife will walk in sometimes,
What's
too,
going
and then
on?
she's like, "Oh, my God, it's horrible." And you're like, well, yeah. What did you think would happen?
My ass is open and fecal matter is extruding through it.
If it smelled like warm, fresh baked apple pie, wouldn't that be more alarming?
Right.
You know?
It would. Like, yeah. Who's baking Bialys? Wow. Yeah, that would be alarming.
That smells homey.
It's not like they stepped down in your basement lab where you're trying to create a new fragrance and went like, oh no, this is not an all over body splash. No, Andy, no, this is not. No, they walked into the head mid dump. What do they think is going on? Yeah, and then the toilet's a disaster too. And it's like, well, what went on? Wait, what went on? You take a look. The whole fact that we're talking about it means you know what went on. If it was nothing, if you couldn't see anything,
sure.
There's that clown makeup on. If there's clown makeup inside the bowl, that's what went on. I was teaching a clown a lesson.
Yeah, a bunch of sequins.
Yeah, there's sequins and like grease paint.
Sequins and feathers. What?
What went on here?
Did you eat a drag queen?
Right, but just the circle of Duke that enveloped the toilet. Yeah, I think we know what went on. All right, just everybody with the questions.
Yeah.
The wives got to come in. Like, they act like they don't... Look, here's the thing. We don't want to know what's going on with them in the bathroom. And imagine, by the way, their version of our big dumps is their tampons and their periods. And you don't see us, like, going through the trash can. Hey, what's this? What's going on here? What happened here?
I'm just gonna opt out of this one because
Andy can't tolerate that. See, that's the yummy stuff.
He's
into this.
No, I'm fine. All of that stuff. Actually, my wife and I we actually had a point at which our in the development of our child where my wife. There's never been closed doors at our house. Mm-hmm. And my wife decided all of a sudden, like, she got prudish for the kids' sake, you know, like.
Boundaries are important.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
like, you know, like, the door should be shut. And I was like, oh, come on. If we were in Sweden, you know.
I know, even in Sweden.
Yeah, we'd be nude around the dinner table, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we still kind of, you know, when there are boundaries, but I still feel like I'm not going to all of a sudden change everything because that feels pretentious and fake anyway.
Right. He masturbates while running in place in the living room at noon, and he'll be goddamn if he's going to change that schedule.
I've got, my workouts stay the same.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, Maniac playing in the background, Andy and leg warmers.
Yeah, a burlap mitten.
And going at it.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's good for children to see, by the way.
All right. Let's, they're going to see
it. Try and prove it's bad.
They're going to see it.
You're trying to.
They're going to see it eventually, Drew. Why not see it now?
That's right.
Emily?
Yay! I can't believe I'm on.
Yeah, what's happening, baby doll?
Okay, well, I'm on the pill,
Special ed.
and I had a lot of unprotected sex, and it was with the same person, but I was wondering how I know if I'm pregnant. If I take the pill continuously.
I want to go to Hawaii. Yay! I want to go to Hawaii. So, Emily, I'm confused by your question.
Why?
The pill.
You would take a pregnancy test. That's how you know you're pregnant.
Okay, but then otherwise, because I don't know if the pill didn't work or something.
You won't bleed. You shouldn't bleed if you're continuing to take the pill and you're pregnant.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You know, I don't get my period when I'm on the pill.
But you normally don't get your period on the pill.
Well, she stays on it continuously.
I see. I beg your pardon.
She doesn't take the sugar pill.
Got it. And so you wouldn't know if you were pregnant or not. If you're taking the pill properly, the probability of pregnancy is remote. Okay. Very unlikely. And if you have a question about you feel pregnant, you worry about it, take a pregnancy test.
Okay. I mean, I'm not really worried. I just wanted to make sure because I wasn't sure if there was some other sign.
Let's define what we're talking about. She doesn't bleed every month. She doesn't skip that week of pills.
And you know what? Her boyfriend doesn't bust her chops on that. Like
she's okay with that?
Does with the toilet.
No.
I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
We know when things are sacred. Yeah. I want to get out of there.
And that's a very reasonable way to take your birth control pill. There are packets now sold 3, 4, 6 months at a time where women can go on without having a menstrual period. There's no reason you have to have a menstrual period from a health standpoint.
It's your blood. You keep it.
That's right.
And that being the case, it makes it more difficult to sort of alert you to whether or not there's a pregnancy, and you have to sort of take a pregnancy test, which are widely available now.
All right.
Okay. So I'm good to go.
You're good to go, yeah.
Or you could always check with a psychic.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it just me? Maybe after things like 9/11 and major earthquakes and things, when psychics don't really pipe up, they lose a little credibility or something.
People are not as interested, I find, during real disasters and war.
Yeah.
When we have things to focus our attention on, we're not so...
Yeah, I have...
Strangely, it should be more so.
Haven't heard about psychics too much since
I
9/11.
have a problem with psychics all the time, and it would be because they're hucksters and liars.
Yeah.
That would be pretty much my...
I'm the same way. The way the... We had psychics on the show. I used to get huge arguments with them all the time. Mm-hmm. They would... I won't tell you how they work. I'll tell Andy off the air.
Perfect.
He knows how they work.
Yeah.
Remember my cat, Norman?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to... No, I can't leave the audience hanging that way.
Okay.
Here's how psychics work. I told him my cat, Norman, died, and she said,
about 10 minutes later, then.
Norman, 10 minutes later, she said, there was somebody named Norman that was, important in your life, grandfather, whatever. I said, no. Yeah, she was fishing. And the point is she did the math, which is who has a cat named Norman that's not named it after an uncle Norman or something?
Sure.
Who randomly names their cat Norman? I knew no one named Norman. There was no one in my family named Norman. And she kept, here's what they do. And this is where we got in that huge uncomfortable argument where she would say, just think about it. And I would say, no, I'm done thinking about it. I don't have anyone named Norman. Well, okay, but give it some thought because I'll bet you.
Yeah.
Nope, doesn't.
A Norman Fell, maybe?
Mr. Roper, perhaps? We'll take a, but it's a smart move. Who the hell names her cat Norman? I'll tell you, someone with an idiot sister like
Well,
I
by
have.
the way, you leave it, psychologically, you leave it with, he's going to figure out who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so the audience figures,
Right.
he'll figure out.
Yeah.
His resistance right now is, such that he can't
He's got his guard up.
Yeah.
He's got his sanity guard up. We'll take a quick break. Andy Richter here tonight. We'll be right back after this. Hey, everybody. It's LoveLine. I'm Adam. That's Dr. Drew. Andy Richter's here.
Yes, I am.
What's happening, brother man?
Oh, radio advice, sorting a lot of stuff out for people.
I'll tell
Where
you.
are you guys going to be hanging?
Well,
you and Andy.
Me, Andy, Odenkirk, Chappelle, and Bruce. Lenny Bruce.
Oh, Lenny Bruce.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah,
Bruce Valanche.
Well, I call him Valanche.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good people.
Brucey. That's what they call him.
Yeah, we'll be chilling. We'll probably be down at like Luna Park or something. But don't ask us to
Dolce.
perform. Don't ask us to perform.
See, I thought we'd go ride the train in Griffith Park.
We'll be doing our own thing,
Right.
whatever it is,
And just laughing.
and we won't be talking about the industry, but we'll be laughing. You know what I mean? Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. We're gonna hang out.
We'll hold hands and then run around in a circle, like pull really hard on the hands and do that whole spinning around thing.
Yeah. And then I'll become that annoying guy who knows everyone's routine, so that every time somebody says something like, I was at a 4-way stop sign. Why do they... Odenkirk does it great. Have you seen Odenkirk's 4-way stop sign bit? And it's like, all right. Every idea you have, everything you bring up, they're like, yeah. Have you seen Chappelle do that bit? It's great. It's a lot funnier than yours. Whatever. You think this is your idea? No, it's not. No. Do you know any of those guys?
That's like a stand-up comedy disease. Like the guys that you can't have conversations and say something funny without it being sort of quantified.
Yeah.
And made into some kind of product. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, Schimmel does that. Yeah, that's Schimmel's bit. Yeah. That part where you bang your wife. Yeah, that's
Right,
Schimmel.
right.
Schimmel does a good bit on that. He does a
I
good
was
bit on
really just sharing,
It's a good bit.
Amber, 23.
Andy, I
Yes.
love you.
Oh, thank you.
Hold on.
Freaking hilarious.
Oh, thanks very much.
Did she just let the F-bomb go there?
She said fricking.
No,
That's
she
fine.
said frickin'.
That bit where you're driving and being silent, that's Schimmel's bit, too. That's where you're not talking.
Right,
That's
sure.
his bit. Yeah, he does that bit. Amber?
Yes.
Here we go.
Okay, so I was wondering if my boyfriend ejaculated. He had a condom on, and then the erection didn't go down, so we just waited a while, and then he was able to get going again, and he ejaculated again. And I was just wondering what the chances are of sperm getting out of the condom.
Leakage, I believe.
I like the way the erection is sort of
What was
out
that?
there. The erection was sort of some other concept
Yeah.
from the boyfriend. Well, the erection didn't go down.
Yeah, so what we're going to do.
Here's the deal, Amber. That is typically how a condom fails, in fact. That's how you get a condom to slip off.
Yeah.
People pulling that kind of thing. And also there can be some leakage around the base, and it's hard to keep a condom on through all that, especially when there's extra...
That's a passionate man, too, by the
It's
way.
a good move. It's a good move.
And by the way,
But,
what the condom, after you orgasm...
He sounds to me like he's young. That's
Yes.
what he sounds like.
Young
Yeah.
and passionate.
Because to me, the condom coming off after you have the orgasm, it's like you were diving, you were underwater for an hour, and you pop up, you just want to rip off that mask.
Yeah.
Like you're now wearing the mask into the hotel.
Right.
Is what it's like up the beach into your room.
Flipper's still on.
Yeah.
Flop, flip, all the way through the lobby.
But yet, and then the idea of sort of stewing in your own juices feels a little weird to me. You know what I mean?
A passionate man cannot be bothered when he's on a mission. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then isn't the reservoir sort of have the turkey gobbler effect? And isn't that...
No, because he's not ever soft.
I
He's
know,
always
but
filling it out.
Is it... Okay.
He doesn't care.
All right.
Right.
All right, so...
all I can say is he's a weak ejaculator, because all I know is those things shoot right off of me.
Yeah.
Condom?
Yeah, there's
yeah.
no way it could,
No.
Well,
Yeah.
It'll slip off.
Boom!
No, you know in the movies where they hit the gas depot and the 55-gallon drums of jet fuel
Right.
explode,
Yeah.
they just go this rocket into the air
Right.
in slow motion. That's what it looks like
Yeah.
when Richter has an orgasm.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So what's that, Amber?
I was just wondering how we'd be able to keep the erection then, like, if we did take off the condom and put a new one on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
How
mean?
we
Like,
can
I
keep
don't
the
know.
Well, here's the thing.
He'll keep the erection. This is the kind of guy that will not have a problem keeping the
Yeah,
erection.
and don't look at it as sort of one erection. And look at it as there might, even if this one goes away, there'll be another one.
Soon to follow.
That
Right.
You won't be able to tell the difference.
For the next few years.
Yeah, I mean, I've lost a few of my favorites over the years.
Yeah.
Didn't you call it same bone or different jizz?
Yeah, that is really the same. Yeah, yeah. That is
That's what he did.
Yeah, that is the male multiple orgasms. Same boner, new jizz. Right. Thank you.
Got that, Andy? Taking notes?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about that in Griffith Park. All right, let's talk to Joshua's 26. Joshua?
Yes.
What's happening?
All right, here it is. This is actually for Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go. I'm listening. Go.
Okay.
We have
I'm
40 seconds.
I'm a very habitual pot smoker.
Right.
And not too long ago, I was at a company party where a few of my friends who I see sort of outside of work and myself engaged in some pot smoking.
Right.
And people who were kind of higher up saw what we were doing.
Right.
They didn't have a real bad reaction at the time. It was just kind of like, okay, we know what you're doing over there.
Right.
Every time I go to work now, I'm kind of faced with that, and it really scares me. I don't know really if it's going to be something brought up.
What kind of work do you do?
Works at Arby's.
26.
No, what kind of work do you do?
I'm in a software company.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, there's other stoners in a software company.
Everyone is software stoner.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I know there's other people that do it, but we just haven't, had...
What's
All right, he has no
What's
question.
the issue?
Here's the situation with work. Be good at what you do. Show up on time. Don't be disheveled, and it'll all go away. And by the way, here's the thing. All you good employees, you really got nothing to worry about. Yeah. You can do whatever you want.
Right.
You just show up and be productive and start creating and take care of business. You'll have a job.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you. All right. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. It's LoveLine, and that's the show. I want to thank Andy Richter for coming out here tonight. I really did not expect to see Andy tonight.
Really?
Why?
He said he'd be here.
Well, it was...
How dare you?
Because I forgot.
Because he's a liar.
Because he's retarded.
And he's a backstabber.
I forgot
and he's
I'm
mentally
retarded.
challenged. All right. Andy Richter, everyone. Seeing Other People and New York Minute, all in theaters as we
Cinematic
speak.
triumph.
Yes.
Both of them. And
Quintuplets, June 16th, Wednesday.
that's right. All right.
Check it out.
God bless you, Andy. We'll be hanging out.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We're going right now.
Yeah.
Going to the clubs.
Yeah, we're going to do some clubbing. Drew, you in?
Yeah, I'll come with you guys. Hang
Okay.
out.
So until
I'd
next
be cool
time.
too then, huh?
No.
No.
Until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
I'm retarded.
This has been LoveLine. The opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the staff, management, sponsors, or this station. The producer for LoveLine is Ann Ingold. LoveLine is a presentation of Westwood One Entertainment. The opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the staff, management, sponsors, or this station. The producer for LoveLine is Ann Ingold. LoveLine is a presentation of Westwood One Entertainment.